digging through 4 centuries of American history. I'm Jill Horner. This is Comcast Newsmakers. With me this hour is Lou Farrell. He's with Temple University. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about the site where you're digging, because this is an important site historically.
It is. It's the home of Henry Melchior Muhlenberg, who was the founder of the American Lutheran Church. He's a significant figure. He's a pastor that came to the country in the 1740s and professionalized the Lutheran Church.
Now, this is a site in Trappe, Pennsylvania,
Yes.
but you're digging back even before this man came to America.
Oh yeah. This is a real bonus. I mean, we have the Muhlenberg house, and last summer we dug the summer kitchen, but we found the site of a redware kiln, a traditional Pennsylvania German pottery kiln. And it goes back to 1720 or 1730, which makes it one of the earliest industrial sites in this area.
So it's an industrial site, and this is an incredible story because most of the time when archaeologists go into a dig, they have some sort of information, particularly for early American digs. They may have tax documents, they may have family letters, they may have newspaper clippings. You have none of that, which potentially means that this was an illegal operation. This was a potter working outside of the tax code. He may have been a lawbreaker.
Oh yeah, he certainly was a lawbreaker. He was breaking all the mercantilist laws at the time. It's safe to say that the British authorities wouldn't have been thrilled with this operation because at the time, you weren't allowed to have factories in the colonies. You had to send raw materials to the mother country. They would be finished and then sold at a pretty high price to the colonists. And this guy was making finished products like some of the things we have.
So we don't necessarily know who he was, but we know what he was making.
Yeah, and we're probably not going to find out who he is. There's no newspaper advertisements, like you said, deeds, things like all the stuff that I like to have before I go on site to know about the people that I'm digging, whose house I'm digging into. We're not going to find that here, but we are going to find specific artifacts that talk about this site.
Now, you started the dig last summer. You had a crew on board last summer, all volunteers,
Oh,
which
yeah,
is an
great bunch.
incredible
Yeah,
opportunity. They were with you last summer. Now, talk to us a little bit about some of the things that you actually found and some of the things that you're finding within this kiln right now.
Okay. Well, last summer we dug the summer kitchen at the Muhlenberg house, and we learned about the servants and the women and the people that lived preparing food and running the farm. That's pretty important. This summer, the kiln, we're going to be finding things associated with industrial production. So we're going to find a lot of different sort of pottery that was being made on the site, and made with local clay, local glazes, things like that. We're going to be finding the things that the potter used when he was kilning things, different levelers, stackers, all these things that are sloppy with glaze, what they call kiln furniture.
Now, as you mentioned, this was an illegal pottery. These things weren't allowed to be made here, so it wasn't necessarily an efficient operation. So a lot of the pieces were actually broken and discarded, and that's what some of the things we're seeing with you today. Yeah,
we're going to want to find the remains of that inefficiency. We want to find what's called the waster pile, because that's going to tell us the kind of things it was making, the technology that they were using, and the sort of technology that this kiln was using goes back to medieval times in Europe.
And I want to quickly ask you about volunteers, because there are some great opportunities this summer. July 6th through the 31st, volunteers are going to be digging at this site.
They are. We do this, it's public archaeology. We want to get as many hands on site as we can. They can contact us through our website. And what we'll do is, if there's a group of people, we'll get together and give them some pretty basic training about documentation, methods, ethics, that kind of thing. Teach them a little bit before, and then when they get on site, we'll supervise them, and they can find great stuff.
And they can find amazing things at this site. Archaeology at the Muhlenberg House, July 6th through the 31st, Wednesday through Sundays. Just a few seconds left, but if you don't want to get your hands dirty, you can still take a tour.
Oh, sure. The house is a spectacular place. It's been restored to the period where Muhlenberg lived.
Thanks so much for being with us, Lou. Good to see you. We've been talking with Lou Farrell. I'm Jill Horner.